in the Free State. Palesa, over to you.
Well, we're still here at the Results Operations Center in Bloemfontein. This is where all the information of what's happening on the ground is coming in. And, I must say that while the IEC has reported that the special votes have been mostly smooth running, there's been some challenges. And these are particularly in those areas that were identified as hotspots. Your Marquardt and Viljoenskroon. We know that earlier today, residents in Marquardt were still insisting that there will be no voting if their demands for better services are not met. And, we also know that in Viljoenskroon, residents there today managed to burn down the clinic as well as the local hall, as a form of protest. With demands for better services. But right now we are going to talk to a political analyst, Dr. Trace Macheta, who's just going to take us through, what these protests actually mean on the ground and what do they mean for elections. Dr. Macheta, thank you very much for affording us this opportunity to talk to you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Tell us about these protests. What do they mean on the ground?
I think before I say what do they mean, it's an indication that in the last 5 years, the government did a disservice to the people. First, by not educating people that there are channels within a democracy on how to deal with the issues. And because a protest at this time of election does not really help much, except that people are destroying what is actually theirs because they are the government. We just choose the representatives too. It is said that as South Africa we still express ourselves by burning buildings, by destroying property. And when we as society understand what it is, I think as political parties have failed the people of the Free State. The government has failed the people. There's lack of political education. People need to know how to go about dealing with difficult issues of service delivery. The issues of local government are now affecting provincial and national elections right now. But apart from that, it is that we take people for granted. And I've been saying it, even with local government elections in 2016, even 2014 national elections, to say our government, political parties take people for granted. The Free State has got small towns of people who do not know where to go when there are problems. But our politicians do not invest in meeting with the people, in talking with the people, really listening deeply and giving feedback. Now running to these elections, if you may look back, the ruling party, the ANC, instead, remember in 2014, we gave a new mandate to the political parties represented in the legislature. We gave a new mandate in 2014. So political parties should be accounting on what they did from 2014 to now, not 1994. By going back to 1994, it's proof that we have not done much in the last 5 years. We are still holding on to what we did in the beginning. We still hold on to Madiba. And that in itself, as much as it's wonderful, it says we have not yet developed another Madiba. So societies are angry. That is why even the mood, it's mixed. There's excitement, there's anger, and there's sadness. I mean, when I say excitement, there are those people who know for sure that they cannot keep on doing the same thing and expect different results. It's about time. There's options. We almost doubled the number of political parties we had in 2014. So there are options. So if this particular party did not serve you well in the last 5 years, as a voter, you know that there are alternatives. Two, those who are angry, they need to know that there are processes even beyond tomorrow. There are processes, and the sad part is that people are not aware that we will still be talking service delivery. In fact, what they can do now to ensure that service delivery happens is to improve the power of the opposition. Any democracy with a powerful opposition performs, and that's what we need. The sadness in the feeling and the mood is that there are young people who thought there might just be a way of sneaking registration because now the excitement is building up and they realize now they will not be able to vote tomorrow. And that is the situation. But I think more than anything, political education is critical, electoral education is critical. And for people to understand that beyond elections, once you have given political parties a mandate, how do you keep them accountable throughout the 5 years and stop them from going back to 1994 and talk about the 5 year of the new mandate?
Thank you very much, Dr. Makgetha. That is political analyst Dr. Choice Makgetha, who's very clear to say that people in this country are definitely not happy, and that there's definitely a need for smaller parties to come together and perhaps look at forming a coalition government to form a stronger opposition. But with that, it's back to you in studio.